It's really nice having somebody to speak with that you can use as a sounding board. Somebody who can listen to you and they don't have some other agenda, maybe to push on you some reparative therapy so that you're not the gender you feel you are. Somebody who can have a more broad and deeper understanding of what you're going through because of years of experience in gender identity dysphoria amongst several numbers of and numerous individuals. So it's not just one or two individuals. It's nice to have somebody who you feel is in your corner. And you know, when you're going through a transition and through this very difficult process of becoming yourself and losing people in your life, a gender therapist can help you strike that equilibrium and that balance to help you keep going forward in your transition and in life. Because our suicide numbers are a whopping 40 to 50%, it's like between 35 and 50%, it's important to have as many people in our corner as possible. There's nothing like being able to vent to somebody who is solely focused on you, not themselves. They are there to listen to you. And there's something very therapeutic about that, very calming to somebody's maybe very crazily like tempest soul. And it helps to calm our nerves and realize that there are some other sane individuals out there who see us for who we are and who accept us for who we are. So it's very important to have that person in our corner and to allow that supposed gatekeeper to gatekeep. See, a lot of us feel like, you know, a gender therapist is a gatekeeper to SRS, but they're not, and I'm going to refute that, because if we really wanted to, the fact remains that we could have fake written letters done, and we could figure out a way, many girls do, to do it without the written letters and to get their surgery anyways. It is possible. So are they really keeping us back from getting what we want? No, it's just us keeping ourselves back. So they're not gatekeepers. Instead, I look at them as window openers, door openers. They help us to understand ourselves, what we're going through, the inner turmoil we're going through, helps us to work through a lot of our doubts and our fears about coming out, dealing with how society deals with us. A gender therapist helps us through the difficulties of dealing with the realization that we'll never carry a baby and that we'll never be cisgender born and that we'll have, you know, some body dysphoria a little bit, maybe even after, you know, our SRS and all of our surgeries. So they're door openers and window openers to finding the tools to live a happy and fulfilled, successful life. That's what it's for. Thanks for watching.
Hey, this is Casper and you are watching the Working Title Project. Today I'm going to contribute to the discussion that Kaylee has brought up, which is why gender therapy is so important. I think she raised some really amazing points. When I was seeing my gender therapist, I viewed them as a gatekeeper. And because of that view in my mind and in my heart, that's how I interacted with him. I have been and am quite mistrustful of the system and yeah, I guess I never thought that maybe going to a gender therapist would be a good idea and that it would be because I want to talk to someone. And yeah, so hearing Kaylee say that stuff was like kind of amazing because yeah, I really didn't realize that yeah, that is their job. It's to talk to you, to hear you talk and yeah, be a sounding board, as she said. So yeah, for me, going to a gender therapist was actually to open the gate. I wanted to have top surgery. I wanted to remove my breasts, and to do that, I needed a referral letter from a gender therapist saying, yeah, this person is definitely trans and this is definitely the way to go for them and the next stage in their transition. Because I wasn't planning on taking testosterone, I thought, how am I going to gain approval to have my tits cut off if I look like a girl to the world, you know? So yeah, I was really, really scared and was, negatively viewing my gender therapist as this, like, daunting gatekeeper. I didn't go to gender therapy with the intent of really thinking about my gender and talking about it and having someone listen. I went to just get the tick. I wanted them to tick, yes, that person can go cut their boobs off. I wish I had been a bit more open-minded. But you know, that all of that internalized transphobia and all of my fear made me just feel like, oh, I can't trust anyone. I just need to get this letter saying I can do this and then I'm out of here, you know? And that's a real shame that probably a lot of trans people, especially trans people that aren't solidly one gender or feel really like solid about their gender, they might feel really cautious about talking about this stuff because we've had experiences, probably a lot of us, all our lives, with people being like, you're not really a guy, you're not really a girl, there's no such thing as a non-gender or gender variance, you're one or the other. That sort of stuff's really understandable, and you know, that's where I was coming from going into gender therapy. If I was to go again, I reckon I would just talk about it, you know, and I did say, I think gender's a galaxy, and I explained that I didn't think it was a spectrum, and I think he really profited from hearing me say that stuff, you know. And we are in an age and a time now where actually you can, like, take hormones and have surgeries and you don't have to be strictly male or female. That has taken so long, and so many incredible activists have done that work, who might not even see themselves as activists, but they are activists because they have paved the way for people like me to be able to go and cut my fucking boobs off and have this like chest that I want and feel really comfortable in. Thank you to those people. As Kaylee says, gender therapy is great. Don't view it as gatekeepers. They are door openers. They open my door to having the body that I really want and like loved when I was a kid and love now, you know. Have someone to talk to, whether you're going to therapy or not, whatever kind of therapist, you know, just talk about stuff. Just have a great day, and yeah, see ya.
So the reason why I wanted to contribute to this conversation is mainly because I never went through gender therapy. And to be honest, I'm not really too sure how I feel about that. The system for transitioning physically in the UK is a bit different to other parts of the world, because there's nothing imposed on you that where they say that you have to have therapy for a prolonged period of time. And I think that because that's the case, the majority of people I know anyway in Britain don't go through getting any sort of therapy. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to wage in on this because I thought that I didn't need gender therapy. I thought that I foolishly, genuinely thought that being trans or going through transitioning was not a big deal. And I think it was kind of wishful thinking. One of the things that I find so shocking about being trans is that, or being trans and accessing healthcare, is that for anything else, if there's something wrong with you, you go to the doctor and you say what your symptoms are, and they tell you what you've got. But I was thinking about this not long ago, and I was kind of taken aback by it when I realised when I went to seek healthcare for, you know, transitioning, I had to tell the doctor what was wrong with me. They didn't tell me. And the way that that's so flipped and screwed up, it's like there's so little support, and I didn't even think anything of it at the time. I just thought that I didn't question it. So everything that I've ever accomplished so far in terms of transition, and I don't mean that in terms of physical transition, I mean that in terms of mentally and emotionally and all of that. yeah, everything that I've accomplished so far has been through my own doing, and has been through my own research and my own hard work. And you know, whether I had went through therapy or not, it would have been my own work anyway. But it's just that there's been no support. There's been no one teaching me what's what. No one told me what being trans was. No one told me how to get on hormones. No one told me how it would affect my life so completely. I was never supported through having to reevaluate myself and what it meant for me to function in society as a man as opposed to a woman. No one helped me come to terms with the fact that I may never have children. No one helped me figure out terminology that everyone uses. So things like cis. Took me a while to figure out what fucking cis meant. No one explained the difference between sex and gender. No one helped me work out me redefining my sexuality. No one told me when someone was being transphobic and when someone wasn't. It's just being trans isn't just being trans. It throws everything up in the air. It made me think about gender roles. It made me think about sexuality. It made me think about privilege. Privilege was a big thing that I didn't ever acknowledge. I was so ignorant and didn't understand anything about that. I'd never, you know, it wasn't until I came out, long after I came out and started getting on Tumblr, that I even figured out what that was. I just think if it wasn't for YouTube, and if it wasn't for those people being there for me in the way that they were, clearly I don't know where I would be. I don't know the type of person I would be, how my transition would, how it would differ. But yeah, for me, YouTube has been my sort of source of gender therapy, if you want to think of it like that, because it was a space where I could talk. I got feedback from people and what I said. I could learn from others. It's a space for people where they can work shit out. In some ways it kind of resembles the way that things would be with a therapist, because you're sitting in a very quiet room and you're just talking. The things that I say in videos, I don't necessarily plan all that much. I don't think too much about it for the most part, and then I just kind of sit with the camera and speak, and things come out a lot of the time that I didn't even know were there. So just the simple act of speaking and it being a one-sided thing, that in itself can sort of reveal a lot, I think, within yourself. But it can't replace seeing a therapist, because I could talk all fucking day if I want to, but there's going to be no one guiding me and asking the right questions and helping me along the process when I feel a bit confused. So I'm looking forward to hearing what everyone else has got to say on the matter. And thanks to Kaylee and Casper, because I really liked everything that they had to say. It's a really good topic. Alright, bye everyone.
Let's go out back and plant a family tree.